This conversation between Will and Martell is not casual, and it's not filler television. It's one of those moments where the volume stays low, but the meaning stays heavy. From the very beginning, you can feel that this isn't just two men joking, posturing, or engaging in surface-level banter. The energy changes the moment Will brings up what Destiny told him, because now the conversation is no longer about comfort, familiarity, or shared history. It becomes about respect, honesty, and the responsibility that comes with how you speak about someone you're spending time with. This scene is powerful precisely because it's calm. There's no yelling, no theatrics, no dramatic music cues to tell you how to feel. Instead, it relies on truth, accountability, and emotional awareness to carry the weight. When Will mentions that Destiny told him Martell said he would hit it and quit it, the shift is immediate. That phrase lands hard because it's not ambiguous. It doesn't leave much room for interpretation. Whether someone says it jokingly, casually, or without thinking, those words communicate a very specific mindset. They suggest disposability. They suggest a lack of emotional consideration. They suggest that the person being spoken about is not viewed as a full human with feelings, history, or vulnerability, but as a temporary experience. Even if Martell didn't mean it exactly the way it sounded, the reality is that words don't stay contained to the moment they're spoken. They move, they get repeated, and once they reach the person they're about, they take on a life of their own. At that point, intent becomes secondary to impact. What's important to recognize here is that Will doesn't bring this up to stir drama or embarrass Martell. His tone is direct but controlled. He's not aggressive, he's not accusatory. He's seeking clarity, and more than that, he's holding space for accountability. He feels a responsibility to address it head-on, because letting something like that slide would mean silently agreeing that it's acceptable. And Will makes it clear through his approach that he doesn't see it that way. This isn't about competing for destiny. This isn't about asserting dominance. It's about making sure that words with serious implications are not brushed aside as meaningless. Martell's response is telling. There's surprise there, but also discomfort. He immediately questions how Destiny heard it and whether she told Will directly. That reaction matters because it highlights how quickly trust can become fragile. Instead of first addressing the phrase itself, the focus shifts toward how the information traveled. That's a very human reaction, but it also reveals something important. When people are confronted with the impact of their words, it's common to want to redirect attention away from the words and toward the circumstances around them. But the circumstances don't erase what was said. They don't undo the message that landed. Martell then pivots to explaining that he doesn't want a relationship, and that may very well be true, but Will doesn't let that explanation replace the original issue, because saying "I don't want a relationship" is fundamentally different from saying "I'll hit it and quit it." One is a boundary, the other is a declaration of use. One is honest and respectful, the other is careless and dismissive. And this is where the conversation becomes bigger than the two men sitting there. It becomes about how often people confuse intent with impact, and how frequently they believe that clarifying intent after the fact should be enough to undo harm. It usually isn't. What elevates Will's role in this moment is that he refuses to normalize harmful language. He doesn't shrug it off as just how men talk. He doesn't laugh and move on. Instead, he asks the question that actually matters. Why would you say something like that to a woman, especially one who is newly divorced and already navigating emotional vulnerability? That question shows a level of awareness that's often missing in dating conversations. Will understands that timing matters. He understands that emotional space matters. He understands that people don't come into situations as blank slates. They bring their wounds, their fears, and their need for safety with them. The mention of Destiny being recently divorced changes everything. Divorce is not just a legal separation, it's emotional fallout, it's trust being broken, it's often a deep sense of loss and self-doubt. When someone knows that about another person and still speaks loosely about their intentions, it raises legitimate concerns. It's not about being overly sensitive, it's about recognizing that vulnerability requires care. Will's instinct here isn't to control Destiny or speak for her, but to protect clarity. He wants to make sure that lines are not crossed and that no one is being treated casually under the guise of honesty. There's a moment where Will jokes about having to watch his own partner around Martell, and on the surface it sounds lighthearted, but underneath that joke is a warning. It's a signal that words and behavior matter, and that patterns don't go unnoticed. Humor is often how people soften hard truths, but that doesn't mean the truth isn't there. Will is communicating that respect isn't optional, and that accountability doesn't disappear just because something was said in passing. Martell brings up his history with Destiny, explaining that they go way back, even to high school. And while shared history can create comfort and familiarity, it can also create blind spots. Knowing someone for a long time doesn't give you permission to be careless with them. In fact, it creates a greater responsibility. Expectations are higher when there's history. Words hit harder. Assumptions become more dangerous. Familiarity does not cancel out accountability, it increases it. As the conversation continues, Martell admits that after Destiny heard what was said, there wasn't much he could do. He says it is what it is, and that he can only try to prove it wrong. That statement is honest, but it's also incomplete. Will pushes back, pointing out that there's nothing to prove wrong if the intention was already stated clearly. This is one of the most powerful moments in the conversation because it highlights what real accountability looks like. Accountability isn't about reframing your words after they cause harm. It's about owning them fully and understanding why they landed the way they did. Martell then attempts to clarify that he didn't mean he wanted to hit it and quit it, but that he still doesn't want a relationship. This is where so many dating situations fall apart. The gray area between companionship and commitment is where confusion thrives. Wanting connection without long-term intention is valid, but only when it's communicated clearly and respectfully. When language becomes vague or careless, people fill in the blanks themselves. Destiny did exactly that based on what she heard, and her reaction was reasonable. People can only respond to the information they're given. The discussion eventually shifts to dating in a small city like Huntsville, where everyone knows everyone. In environments like that, there's no room for half-truths. Words travel fast, reputations form quickly. There's no hiding behind selective honesty. Destiny is described as dating multiple people, and that in itself is not a problem. Dating multiple people is not wrong when done transparently. The real issue is honesty. As long as everyone knows where they stand, there's no betrayal. Problems start when information is withheld or adjusted depending on who's asking. Martell brings up his concern about Destiny not being fully honest early on about other men in her life, and that adds another layer to the conversation. Trust is not one-sided. If someone feels misled, even in the early stages, it can create doubt. Timing matters here too. Early dating is often messy. People are still figuring out what they owe each other and when. That doesn't excuse dishonesty, but it does explain hesitation. What's important is that both sides acknowledge the complexity instead of reducing it to blame. One of the most striking aspects of this conversation is what doesn't happen. No one raises their voice, no one insults the other, no one storms off. That restraint speaks volumes. Two men are addressing a sensitive topic involving pride, ego, and romantic interest, and they're doing it face-to-face with respect. That's rare. It shows maturity. It shows emotional regulation. It shows that accountability doesn't have to come with aggression. This moment also highlights how respect between men can create safer spaces for women. Will isn't speaking for Destiny, but he is making sure her name isn't brushed aside. He's reinforcing the idea that words matter and that intentions should be handled carefully. That's not controlling behavior, that's community accountability. It's men holding each other to a standard that doesn't center ego or conquest, but clarity and respect. When Will says, "May the best man win," it's said with transparency. It's about fairness, not dominance. He's making it clear that there are no hidden agendas, no crossed lines, and no confusion about where anyone stands. That level of openness is refreshing, especially in a situation that could easily have turned hostile. Destiny's role in this conversation is powerful even though she's not physically present. By sharing what she heard and responding accordingly, she's protecting herself. She's not chasing explanations. She's not demanding reassurance. She's making decisions based on the information she has. That's growth. That's self-respect. She's setting boundaries without yelling, without forcing clarity, without trying to control the outcome. She's choosing peace. This interaction is also a reminder that emotional intelligence isn't about perfect reactions. It's about being willing to listen, adjust, and understand how your words land. Martell doesn't become defensive. He explains himself, he listens, he processes. That doesn't erase what was said, but it does show an openness to learning. Growth doesn't require perfection. It requires reflection.
However, Destiny posted a late post from Miami, and right away you can tell the vibe was luxury, fun, friendship, and celebration. She wrote that Miami was so litty, but what made it unforgettable was celebrating Stormy. She went on to praise Stormy heavily, calling her Stormy Boo, Canvas Girl, and Beauty, and talked about everything from the laughs, the sing-offs, and the memories made. Destiny really emphasized that Stormy deserves every bit of joy she brings to others and prayed that she continues to be blessed with many more amazing birthdays through all the highs and lows. She made it very clear that Stormy has her always, along with many others who love her, and she ended the message by celebrating years of friendship, fun, and unforgettable moments. That was a very heartfelt post, and it says a lot about where their friendship stands now compared to where it started. And just think about it, guys. These are the same two women who did that Galentine's Day thing together. And now look at them. They're traveling, celebrating birthdays in Miami, posting each other publicly, and showing nothing but love and loyalty. If you haven't seen the actual birthday celebration clips, you're gonna need to head over to Stormy's page, because it looks like they were in a house somewhere in Miami, turning up, enjoying themselves, and living their best lives. The energy looked fun, carefree, and very soft life. Now, of course, Destiny did not miss an opportunity to promote her brand. She added that she was shining and smelling like Madani Beauty Body Mist and told everybody to thank her later with the link in her bio or available on TikTok. And I'm not gonna lie, I am very curious about that scent. I don't want to be disappointed though. The name, Big D Energy, sounds like it might lean more masculine or unisex. In my mind, I'm picturing something musky, maybe warm, maybe similar to Coco Chanel, Opium, or something with a strong presence. I could be completely wrong, but I really wish she would start posting the fragrance notes so people know what they're getting into. Maybe that's coming soon, but for now, curiosity is definitely there. Now, let's circle back for a second, because this is not the first time we've talked about Stormy doing something nice for Destiny. Do you remember the video we did titled Stormy Gifts Destiny with Cash, Band Rally Against Sunny for Breaking Girl Code? In that video, we were discussing Destiny's birthday celebration, and it appeared that Stormy had gifted her something pretty generous. Destiny also posted a picture of a beautiful bouquet of pink roses that Stormy sent her, along with a handwritten note. The note said, "Hey beautiful, I hope you enjoy your birthday weekend. I so wish I could be there to turn up with you, but enjoy all the motorboats you can. LOL. XOXO, love Stormy." Destiny then reposted and thanked Canvas Girl Beauty, saying they did their big one and thanking them for an amazing birthday. Now, I can't help but wonder, and this is just speculation, if Stormy is also the one who gifted Destiny those stacks of cash we saw in the earlier clips, or maybe that was just Destiny's purse sitting there. Either way, it must be nice to have rich, influential, and resourceful friends who show up for you in big ways. And speaking of resourceful friends, let's talk about something else that caught my eye. Do you remember the video we did titled Tisha's Road Trip Letdown, Destiny's Shocking Photo, Sunny Ruckus Demon? In that video, we showed footage of Destiny packaging orders for her candles, but what stood out was the warehouse. That warehouse looked very familiar. Many of us wondered if Stormy allowed Destiny to use her warehouse space to package and ship orders. When you put the footage side by side, Destiny in the warehouse and Stormy's Instagram footage of her workers setting up, it does look extremely similar. Again, nothing is confirmed, but it definitely appears that Destiny has access to some serious resources through her friendships. Must be nice. Now, back to Destiny's Miami post, because I haven't even gotten to the video yet. Destiny also shared video footage from the birthday trip, and that's where things really got the people talking. In the video, Destiny is wearing a barely there dress, and I'm gonna be honest, at first glance it almost looked like AI or some kind of digitized, futuristic filter. I could be wrong, but the way the dress fits and moves looks almost unreal. Either way, I did censor parts of it for sensitive eyes, but baby, the dress was doing what it was supposed to do.
She looked confident, glowing, and clearly comfortable in her skin. That Dior bag was sitting just right. The dress was hugging everything it needed to hug, and the vibes were very much hot Miami night. Now, I did find myself wondering, and maybe this is just me being curious, what kind of undergarments do you even wear with a dress like that? Or do you just say a prayer and keep it moving? Either way, Destiny looked good. There was also a moment where she looked back over her shoulder, and it made people start asking questions. Who was she looking back at? Was it just for the camera, or was there someone specific behind her? Interesting, right? Now let's talk about the grill. Yes, the grill. If you've been watching the channel, you might remember our video titled Middle-Aged Women Gone Wild, Piercings, Grills, and Girl Code Audacity, where we talked about Destiny possibly getting a grill. And now, looking at this post, it does appear that she is wearing one. Is it the same grill? I'm not sure. But listen, this is the South, and grills are definitely a thing. Destiny does have a beautiful smile, though. Her teeth are white, healthy, and honestly, she could probably launch an oral care line and do very well. A whitening kit, natural toothbrushes, something. She's got the smile for it. At the end of the video, there's a group photo and the whole gang is there. We see the Fletchers, Latrice, Stormy, Courtney, and several others who appear to be coupled up. And yes, Belle Collective is reportedly coming back November 1st, so that checks out. Lance Fletcher is also there, and Destiny appears to be doing a little sidestep in the photo. Now, ladies, you know when you're standing next to a man who isn't that tall, sometimes you shift just a little to the side. Or maybe her feet were hurting. Who knows? But it does make people wonder, are these two really an item, or is Destiny just enjoying herself and living in the moment? Which brings me to the video titled Destiny Confirms New Man. In that video, Destiny posted herself hiking, and in the distance, there was a tall, strong-looking man standing and gazing into nature. We never got confirmation on who that man was, and honestly, we still don't know. Mystery remains. Then there was the Destiny and Tisha road trip live video, where Destiny spoke about her love life directly. During that conversation, she made it very clear that her new boo is herself. She said she's on her Beyoncé me, myself, and I journey, and that no man is going to make her happier than she can make herself. She even joked about needing her F-Boy repellent spray, which she plans to sell on her website and TikTok shop, smelling like cherries. Now that actually sounds interesting. Cherry cream, cherry clouds, I might try that before Big D energy, because Big D energy still sounds a little masculine to me. Now, let's switch gears, because the streets have also been buzzing about Martell and Ariane. Do you remember the video titled Ariane's House on new season of Love Marriage Huntsville? In that video, we discussed what appeared to be an investment property that Ariane herself referred to as our property. I know some people corrected me and said her name wasn't on it, but that was based on what she said in the clip, allegedly. We later confirmed that the property was indeed featured on the show. Then came the video Martell and Ariane desperate to sell property, where it was reported that the home's price was dropped from $340,000 to $315,000. That listing reportedly started in March and changed in June. All alleged information. Then came the follow-up video about them possibly renting rooms after a temporary listing suggested units for rent or sale. That listing disappeared shortly after, leading to speculation about renting rooms or even VA housing. Again, all alleged.
Dating after divorce is especially complex. It comes with fear, caution, and the need for emotional safety. Destiny is moving deliberately. She's not rushing into a relationship, but she's also not allowing herself to be treated casually. That balance is difficult to achieve, and it deserves recognition. She's navigating dating with intention, not desperation. The phrase, "hit it and quit it," becomes symbolic in this conversation. It represents a mindset that many people are tired of: disposable dating, emotional carelessness, lack of responsibility. When that mindset is challenged openly, it forces reflection. Whether Martell truly meant it or not, the conversation makes him consider how his words are received and how they shape perception. That's why this moment matters. It's not about one comment. It's about how people navigate dating with integrity. In the end, no one is painted as a villain. Everyone is human. Everyone has flaws, but accountability is present, and that makes all the difference. Destiny protects her peace. Will protects clarity. Martell is forced to reflect. That balance is rare, and it's why this scene resonates so deeply. This conversation isn't loud, but it's powerful. It teaches that boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines. It teaches that honesty early on saves pain later, and it teaches that respect, once lost, is difficult to regain. Awareness is the first step towards change. The takeaway is simple, but it's not easy. Say what you mean what you say, understand the emotional space someone is in before speaking carelessly, and when you're called out, listen instead of reacting. That's how real growth happens, in dating and in life.